Rachel Notley's real face was on display at the Unifor convention in Ottawa this week. You know how Rachel Notley tries to have that kind, maybe a little matronly air about her? But then when she gets amongst her friends and her best NDP supporters, she shows us who she really is. We all remember that little NDP Christmas party where Rachel Notley laughed for literally minutes at the expense of Alberta farmers, ranchers, and their supporters who rallied peacefully all fall and early winter against Bill 6. Just watch this clip, it's so gross. There's just so much contempt for all of us here.
And then there was my favorite bill. But you know, it really is. And then there was Bill 6. Now,
I spent my fall and winter on the Bill 6 rally trail. I saw farm families that Rachel Notley's bad law would be hurting. I saw the tears and desperation of ranchers as they spoke with me. I saw how the Bill 6 protesters would stand in the bitter cold for hours on end, just hoping Rachel Notley would listen to them. And now here she was, laughing in their faces. I can't tell you how disgusting it is for me to watch that. I hope 1,000 attack ads are made from that one video. Well, this week at the Unifor convention, this same thing happened. Rachel Notley got around her friends and her supporters in the Canadian mega union, Unifor, and her mask slipped off again. Just watch what she says about farmers, ranchers, and their supporters this time.
And in particular, you could not take those rights for granted if you worked in the agri-food industry, because those workers were specifically excluded from these fundamental basic employment rights. The Alberta NDP called for this injustice to be corrected for over 4 decades, and we have run on it for over 4 decades. So you know what? When we make promises, I believe you should keep them. So despite a vicious, over-the-top incitement campaign run by Alberta's right-wing anger industry, that is exactly what we did. And now every worker in Alberta is finally protected with health and safety legislation and workers' compensation should they get injured. We said to those right-wing angry people, we will not be shouted down when it comes to protecting the basic worker rights on the job. They are simply going to have to get used to a government that will stand up for working people.
So anyone who opposed her farm unionization law was part of the right-wing anger machine, or they were whipped into some sort of Notley-hating frenzy by the right-wing anger industry. She thinks those farmers weren't smart enough to be angry on their own. She thinks they needed help. They're just not that clever. What a despicable woman. She's saying anyone who opposed her bad plans for your family businesses and your way of life is just not bright enough to have come to that opposition honestly. Someone made you mad at her. She's the innocent victim. And farmers who peacefully protested for 2 months in the freezing cold are the bad guys or the stupid sheep. Notley, you owe these good, honest, peaceful people an apology. Oh, but they'll never see one from you. No, it wasn't enough that Notley's MLAs called the peaceful protesters violent. It wasn't enough that Notley laughed in their faces behind closed doors. It wasn't enough that Notley called them names in the media like the anger machine in the past. No, now she has to insult their intelligence. This is who Rachel Notley really is when she's with her people, and it's malicious and cold. And I hope everyone remembers in 2019, because I know I will. For the Rebel.media, I'm Sheila Gunn-Reid.
Thanks for watching. Click here to never miss a Rebel update. Want even more of the Rebel? Well, click here to become a premium member.